welcome.
Censored.
No, we might make some mistakes.
When he took over X, he made a bunch of statements saying he's going to change everything. Global leader of the World Economic Forum. It was planned like a movie. We've been lied to our whole lives about everything.
You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Nationalism versus globalism. The victors write the history books. There's two sides of every story. Maybe we should have a discussion about it. Who are these globalists? Who are the ones in charge? Who's running the media, the news outlets, Illuminati, Hollywood, these demons? Predictive programming. History books lie. Revealed as truth later. Idiocracy literally is like a documentary. It's in front of our faces, breaking out of the matrix.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another fabulous episode of The Danger Zone, where we tiptoe in the danger zone. We talk about things that a lot of people don't like to talk about, and, they get defensive, they get hurt, but we're here to, crush that and hopefully open up conversations and get people thinking about things differently. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Truman Show theory. A lot of people think that, they're the main character in this world, and that they're being followed around with the camera all day. Technically, they're right. And technically they're wrong at the same time. And that's why we'll discuss that today. But we're also going to bring up first, though, most people, I feel like most people should know the movie by now, but I'm old. We're like in our 30s. So for any of those younger people out there, this movie was made back in the 90s. It's called The Truman Show. And so basically it stars Jim Carrey. It's about a man named Truman. He lives in a massive basically TV set where every aspect of his life is scripted, filmed, and broadcast to the world without his knowledge. So that's the main plot of it. I will be showing some clips, so there'll be some slight spoilers for anybody that's never seen it. So if you've not seen The Truman Show, I would pause this or just back out right now if you don't want any spoilers. But if you don't care, we're going to talk about it because I love the movie and actually kind of obsessed with most 90 movies and Jim Carrey. And we'll talk about Jim Carrey as well because he's gone through some things in his life in Hollywood. And that kind of basically sums up for me what his point of view right now in life. So we'll go over a little bit of how our lives are like surveillanced and, advertisements. If you haven't seen the Truman Show, in Truman, his wife literally does an ad in the middle of because his whole life's an episode. His whole life's a TV show. She does an ad right there, and he points it out, and he's like, what the hell is that? What are you doing? And, that's how I feel when I'm scrolling through, like, TikTok or, I guess not TikTok, but, like, Twitter, all these different social media apps. They have algorithms that give you what you want. And that's another thing in there. The Truman's always given what he wants, gets everything correct. Not always, I guess. They control his life. So, and these apps control our lives. So it's very similar. You have anything you want to say?
I haven't really. I mean, I've had small instances in my life to where I feel like it's the same routine every single day. Like a long time ago when I worked at Walmart, I felt like every single day, I'd see the same customers, same employees. I felt like it was every single day. Even when I'd come home, I'd come home and eat dinner and it felt like it was just a never ending same routine. I'm like, there's nothing new about my life. I feels like everything is just the same. What is going on?
Yeah, everyone likes a routine, but after a while it gets kind of I wouldn't say the word weird, or I don't know, it just gets like the Mandela effect or deja vu. Sorry, I'm fixing my mic, guys. It's giving me a little trouble here. Stuff like that. It like I say, glitch in the matrix. People always say, the Matrix is the go-to movie usually for this. They go, glitch in the matrix. If you see you'll see a relatively a theme in these movies, like the Truman Show, and definitely in the '90s. A lot of people were super woke, and I mean by that, not woke as in the new woke, but the actual woke from the Matrix kind of thing. And they talked about these sort of things, but they did it what's it called, subliminal messages in film. And I brought this up in a past episode called what I did about predictive programming. And we wanted to touch mostly on this one because Truman Show, I feel like, is pretty damn close. Not that it's we're the main characters, but we're the main enemy. They don't want us to break out and know that we're in a fake set, a fake world. We may not be on TV, they're watching us and they're laughing at us, they're using us for ratings, but they're using us for a lot more than just that. And that's where I say the Truman Show theory is real. But most people will go, "You're fucking crazy. What are you talking about?" And that's where I tiptoe back and I go, well, I'm not talking about like a camera in my face and we're being used, but we are at the same time. Camera in my face and we're being used as a camera in my face right now. But I'm used. That's because I put that there. But there's also another one on my laptop here that can be accessed easily. All these cameras are accessed all the time. We're surveillanced, and yeah. So other than that, that was the Truman Show. He's basically in a dome as well, mostly like the Iron Dome, or he's like his own little world.
Yeah.
He's never, yeah.
I mean, not only is he on camera 24 hours a day, but like everybody in his life, to his literally his own family, to all his coworkers, they're like they're like actors. They're not even like,
They're not blood. They're not family. Yeah, they have no
yeah,
ties to them.
It's like none of that is even real.
That may be the worst feeling. I've never felt it, but that may be one of the worst feelings in the world. Whenever I watch that and you see Truman's like reaction at the end, it's just like everybody. The only real one was that one girl that tried to like free him, and we'll show a couple scenes here in a little bit that freed him from. Well, first I want to show a clip because you did mention that about having a routine, everyday life, which can actually lead us right into. Let me pop it up here. Routine. This is the Truman Show. This is Truman's life right here.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
Morning, Truman.
Morning, Spencer. Hey, Pluto. Oh, no. Get down.
He won't hurt you.
Get down. Yeah, I know. It's just me.
Come on, Pluto.
I forgot about that.
Here's a news flash just then. An aircraft in trouble began shedding parts as it flew over Sea Haven just a few moments ago.
Oh.
Wow. Luckily, no one was hurt. But hey, how do you feel today?
Luckily, no one was hurt.
That's good. You thinking of flying somewhere?
Nope.
Oh, good. This is Classical Fly with Classical Drive, so why don't you forget about the perils of flying? Settle back and let this music calm you down.
Dog fancy, please.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Give me a paper there, will you, Errol? Oh, and one of these. My wife loves her fashion mags.
That'd be all for you, Truman?
That's the whole kit and caboodle.
Catch you later.
Yeah.
Morning. Hank. Morning, Truman. Morning, Truman.
Morning, Truman.
Hey, how are you guys?
Beautiful day, isn't
Oh,
it?
always. And how's your lovely wife?
Well, that's just a little glimpse of Truman there. And, like you said, the daily routine, like you mentioned earlier, having that feeling of comfortness. And they also bring it up in another TV show. It's not from the 90s, but it's a plug because it's one of my favorite, Mr. Robot. And they go over, about how we're constantly being shoved these options in our face, Cheetos or Fritos, Blue Cross or Blue Shield, Ford or Chevy, we're constantly thrown. What's that? Yeah, Coke or Pepsi. And it's like, guess what? 90% of these companies are all run by the same person. So do you really have a choice? Do you really have free will, as most people say? And that's why, we do have free will, but they try to control as much as possible what you want to do. Like you see then there, like as soon as that thing fell out of the sky, they're quick to have a story just to cover it up. And what does that remind you of anything, anybody? Does it remind you of any kind of things in the media or the government? When the story hits, they instantly go, here you go. This is what happened, guys. Don't worry about it. Just there's nothing to see there. Don't look at Building 7 at all in 9/11. Don't worry about it, don't worry about that. And there's always for every option, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, and which gives them another opportunity to do another thing as well. But yeah, like I said, that's one of the worst feelings to feel like everything in your life is set up. And that's why most people go, oh, these schizos just think everything's not real. And I'm like, we don't go into that with the mind state. We start like Truman. We go, oh yeah, are you gonna fly? Are you gonna leave anywhere? No, because they don't want him to leave the dome. That's why he never had the drive to leave, because every time he did, they shut it down. And you find that out later in the film. Whenever he was a little kid, he's like, oh, I want to be an astronaut, I want to fly. And they're like, no, you're not going to leave anywhere. I don't know if you see that scene, but he wants to be an astronaut, and they were like, no. I think he's watching old film, and he's like, wow, why did they do that to me? And like you said, they're actors. They weren't his family. They had no desire to help or push Truman. They were just doing what the company was telling them to do. They weren't the owner, because it's just crazy, the whole story. But I showed it to my wife recently, and she thought it was really good, and she'd never seen it before. It's a very good film, and I think it touches on the basics of human, psychology, in my opinion, how we act and how we're like rats ourselves. What's that song that was also in the 90s? Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. And it reminds me of the Truman Show. Every time I hear that, it reminds me of the Truman Show, because he literally is a guinea pig, a rat to them. Even though the dude at the end was like crazy a little, but he was like, "You're my son, and I've created you." I'm like, bro, you fucking trapped him in a cage his whole damn life. What are you talking about? It's like he's the evil villain at the end, and you're like, what the hell? Let me get back on track here. So yeah, we're going to talk about different theories and how life is. Like we'll go over the surveillance right off the bat. We're constantly under surveillance right now. We're probably being surveillanced. Our phones, CCTV. They have new facial recognition and software. So there's any way to identify you and to publicize you. That's not to say, like you said, like we're being filmed. We're obviously being filmed. We're not being filmed. Who knows? There may be aliens watching us somewhere and being like, "There's a TV show out there."
I mean, I know they can read like a license plate from like a satellite in space. So I mean, what makes you think that they can't see everything else?
And then they sit here and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we can't release the Epstein files, though." I'm like, and also they go, "We can't build the technology to go back to the moon." Why is that? I'm sorry, I just can't explain it.
Can't or won't.
Exactly. So also artificial environment, like what is it? They're trying to make like smart cities from now that are basically like the Truman Show, where you like everything's within 15 minutes, you'll be in your own little zone kind of thing. And I'm like, why would you want to downgrade yourself to like one specific spot? But I mean, they'll say everything you want within 15 minutes. Why would you want to go anywhere else? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I want to travel. I want to see things. I don't want to just stay in a little community. Most people want that, though. They want to be secluded from society, which is understandable, with all the shit going on. We'll talk about, glitches. We did a deja vu video recently where, we've seen some crazy stuff happen. And certain videos, people say that can be with AI now. That's tricky though with videos, because there's crazy stuff going on with AI. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos, but that alone also scares the crap out of me. The technology that we're using on ourselves, and it's rapidly increasing at a rate that's I don't know. I'm kind of worried. I'm gonna be honest, but I'm old now, so I feel like I'm what is it, like unc status? I'm an uncle, so. But yeah, also, what was it? We Are All Truman. That's what I feel like. So when I watched that show, the first thing I got from it, even as a kid, was that I'm Truman. Like, I feel like everybody should watch that film. Uh, the end of the take of it is that you're Truman. We are all Truman. And that resonated with me for a long time. And I think actually that's why I always like film. Because people go, oh, you're schizo. You point out these things that are in life that, oh, they're from film. Well, art imitates life and life imitates art. And that's why these people make these films. Why'd they make The Matrix? Why'd they make The Truman Show? To tell a story and also to sell a message. There's certain different types of artists that like to have a deeper message into their films. What is it, like M. Night Shyamalan? He does the plot twists, at the end. Those you're like, oh man, this whole time. So you're like, and there's different artists and there's different films. And just like with us, there's different things to control us. Like they push the algorithms. Already mentioned it. and they push products, Coke, Pepsi, and half the stuff's not good for you, but they say it is, and we listen to them and we listen. And that was Truman there. That was Truman listening to all of the.
Yeah, baby.
And there's even one scene where I felt this yesterday. You asked me when we were off the stream, but I'll tell you now. A moment that felt like I was in the Truman Show. I went out to the car. It was sprinkling. I went out to the car though, and as soon as I'm out there, it starts pouring, like. And then I walk back to the door, and it stops. I'm talking about like back to the sprinkles again. And it felt like the scene I guess I'm about to show here, if I can pull it up, from Truman, where he's outside and it's like it starts raining, but it's just particularly on him in particular. So it just felt like they were singling me out, man. Or maybe it was just the universe, or God just going, man, let it rain on this mother. So let me see if this is the actual.
When you have
YouTube's
sleep
going
apnea,
too far
good
with these
sleep
ads.
is
I don't know
a
about you,
turn-on.
but I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I don't like ads really.
Yeah, I had to watch a 30 to 45 minute before it even offered me a skip. I had to watch like 30 to 40 minute or second fucking video, and I was like, dude, I'm done. And that made me feel like what was it, the George Carlin stand up where he's like, Americans, they're impatient. There he goes. He's like, they want things this way and they want it that way, and I'm like, it's true. And that's another thing, these ads. And we'll mention that later. They did ads in the Truman Show. They had to because they had sponsors because they were a TV show. And so they would stop and they would do an ad in the middle of it. And the Truman's like, that right there. What are you talking about? Your own wife is a actor, Like you said, that would be terrible. Not one person was sincere. Maybe I think it was that one girl. That was it. It was nice that he got to break out, and that's just it. We all should strive to break out of the matrix, and I think a lot of people have, or they're trying to, and they're searching, and other people get threatened and killed. So it's a serious thing. That's one thing is that I learned about watching the Truman Show as well, is that it's a serious fucking deal when you deal with these people because they control everything. They control the media. They control what you eat. They control the groceries. The groceries you get. You believe it or not, you go in there, half the stuff in those groceries, even the vegetables, are not even good for you. They spray it with shit, pesticides. They're constantly poisoning you. And why? Because they can. Because then you go to the big pharmaceuticals and you take the big medicine and you make money off the medicine. And it's one big thing about money, and they don't give a fuck about us. Just like Truman, they didn't give a fuck about Truman. Sorry for cursing, but they didn't care about Truman, and that means they don't care about us. We are Truman, and I needed to talk about that.
They'll let people die over money.
Oh yeah, tons of people.
It's like, they got cancer. All right, it's all right. Well, we'll make a quick buck off of them.
Like, we prescribed them something and they got cancer from our pharmaceutical thing. Oh, let's develop the the pill for that. So they cure you of the disease they gave you with the because of taking so many fucking pills. Like it's
and see, that's the thing. It's never just one medication, because you'll take one medication, it's like, it gives you side effects. So now you got to take another medication to off-balance that side effect, and then and there's probably another side effect from that next one, and then it's just a never-ending circle.
Yeah,
at one point, my grandmother, she was taking like 7 or 8 different medications, and she felt like her heart was going to explode. So she just like went cold turkey and just stopped all the medication.
Yeah, I was prescribed one for a while when I was younger, and it was an antidepressant. Dude, like literally zombie mode. Like you instantly take it, you're like you're there, but you're not. It's like they closeted you in the back of your head, and like it's the worst feeling I've ever felt. And when I was on it, I felt more depressed on it than I had ever felt in my life. So I instantly stopped taking them, felt 100% better, and that was the day. Honestly, I just stopped. I mean, I occasionally still take some Tylenol and aspirin and shit because I don't know what they put in it, but it helps. But I know I'm probably going to die from it eventually. We're taking too many of them. But it's like if
antidepressants and Tylenol are like, those are different because Tylenol's for like pain relief.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're completely different. That's why I was like, I'll take those. But yeah, the other pills were just fucking terrible.
Yeah, they even have now, or like if you take like antidepressants, like there's some side effects where it says like it'll make you like have feelings of like wanting to commit suicide or something. I'm like,
and there was a
what the heck?
documentary I was watching. Yeah, Like, what's the point of it? Yeah, and even in the commercials, they put it. They like when they advertise it, and they're like, "Oh, take this for your antidepressant. May lead to more suicidal thoughts." I'm like, why the fuck would you want that then? And it's because these companies don't give a fuck. They just want the money. They go, okay, bring it in. And then I watched an interesting documentary. We're going off topic, but it's not because it's relatable to everything, especially the Truman Show. I watched a documentary that said that pretty much like about 90%, he found a pattern of all the school shooters were about like 90% of them were like 70 to 80, 90% of them were on antidepressants when they committed the massacres. And I thought that was interesting. So there is that as well. And then like, well, it leads us back to our last episode about the MK Ultra. They use, drugs, LSD, to induce people into psychosis, to do what they want, hypnosis, and stuff like that. And it's the same thing with the pills. They one way or another, they're going to get you to go out and buy more pills because you're an addict. You know, you're addicted to pain. Like people are like in sports, they take painkillers, they get addicted to them, and then they prescribe you the pills to get off of it. Oh, you want to get off of your painkillers? Here's one that we prescribe that's supposed to wean you off of your fucking, your opiate addiction. And it's constant and it's fucking ridiculous. And that's why a lot of people are like on the side of that Luigi guy. That, I mean, I don't condone anybody getting murdered. That's just terrible. But a lot of people were a following of him because they were like, oh yeah, show that CEO fucking pharmaceutical, like the way that he tortured everybody else. And I'm like, well, you don't even know if this is guy responsible. He's not making him. He's just the CEO, he's calling the shots, but there's people that manufacture it. It goes through a lot of channels. So if you really wanted to go after anybody, you don't do it with bullets. You do it where it hurts. You take down their business. You take down their money. That's where it's going to hurt them.
Yeah, you stop giving them business, then they're gonna starve.
Oh hell yeah! And then they'll fold over. And then a couple of companies have gone under recently. So it's possible, guys. But let me show. I was going to show a little scene how I felt. This was me the other day. But this is Truman, obviously. But this was me the other day when I was going out to the car.
Oh.
That's how it felt. But then I would go back to the car and I would like, it's heavy raining. I know like this specific parts of rain that more than others. That's how it felt. That's how it felt for me though. No ad. No solo. Look, go back. There we go. No, I was before we had to watch that ad. I'm trying to skip the ad or mute it for the next one. But yeah, that was me the other day, and it really feels like that sometimes. But like I said, that stuff really to me is more about weather manipulation that the government does. But sound like a schizo. No, that's another video though. If you want to find out about that, go watch my the recent hurricane that happened. Go look that up on my channel and go look at that. Then you'll find out everything about weather manipulation, and that the government's been doing it for many years. Not saying that they did that at all, but I'm saying they did. I pulled the Kanye. Not saying, what kind of doctor he was, but, he was a Jewish doctor. I was like, you just told me you weren't going to say that. Okay. But let's go back onto the actual topic at hand here. Like glitches in the Matrix. Let's say, what would you do if you found out your life was a TV show? Wouldn't you be like, you'd probably freak out like Truman, feel even worse.
I would. I mean, it would make me really depressed because I would know. I mean, at that point, it'd be like everybody in my family that would always, do everything for me and tell me that they love me. It's like I feel like I feel like I couldn't trust them, because it's you spend all the time with them, and then after decades upon decades, you're like, oh, they were just put in your life because they were paid to do it.
Yeah,
could you imagine if if your mom told you, oh, I'm not even your real mom. I'm just.
I mean, that would be awesome.
I would just be paid to.
I'm just kidding. I'm glad she gave birth to me because I wouldn't be here. But yeah, I understand that. I mean, well, technically, it kind of happened to me, not like an actor, but like for most of my life, I thought my brother was my uncle. A lot of people don't know that. So for the longest time, my mom told me that was my uncle, but really it was her firstborn fucking kid because she didn't want to fucking everybody know that she was a whore. I'm sorry. I'm just retract that, delete that. We'll clip that out. Oh, it's live. Sorry. Okay, shit. No, fuck. No, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, you know what? You know what else she didn't tell you is that I'm your brother too. Yeah. What do you think now?
Oh damn, bro! I was like, makes sense, dude. No, dude. There's I recently did my ancestry, and I'm actually apparently related to a lot of Benavides, and I wanted to bring it up to you. I'm not gonna lie. So we may be
Really?
related, not brothers, but yeah, I looked at really far back, and it said Longoria Benavides, and I was like, what? And so I'll have to show you like
Dang.
off camera, but because I put my ancestry up before, so I found out a lot about my family.
Oh, speaking of ancestry, did you see that that DNA company is gonna be selling they're gonna be selling people's DNA?
Oh fuck! Probably was it
That it
23andMe?
was, yeah. It was because they're going bankrupt or something like that, so they're selling off the company, and then they're gonna be able to sell people's DNA. And I'm like, dude,
Can you guess?
that's how's that not illegal?
Oh, it is. It's got to be illegal. But guess who owns 23andMe? Let's revert back to let's ask Kanye real quick. No, I'm just kidding. But that
Is
is
it is
crazy.
it, is it, is it the Big Nose Mafia?
Yeah, it's the big nose mafia. The Italians. No, I'm just kidding. It's the Chi-Coms. No, but
The penny
yeah,
pinchers?
but yeah, that doesn't surprise me considering who I know is the CEO of that company and 23andMe. That's why I didn't go with 23andMe either, because I knew that was happening with their company. And also, I kind of got pressured into it because everyone was like, "You should do it. See, see who you really are." And I'm like, "Oh, it turns out I'm whiter than I really thought I was." So thanks, everybody. I'm like 1% more white than I am Mexican, but I am. My majority is indigenous American, Native American to Mexico. So, but yeah, we're going off topic again. But no, not really at the same time. Let me show another Truman clip. I want to find a really good one though. There's like that one at the end. I don't know if people have seen it, the movie. I don't want to ruin too much because like I do want to add a little aspect to it. I have to hold my freaking mic right now because it won't hold over there. The
The
sacrifice.
part that kind of freaked me out about that movie was whenever he was driving down that street, and then he turns to that radio station when they're like saying they're saying like where he's going to. He's like, oh, he's taking a left right now. Oh,
Oh
he's
yeah,
taking it right. He's
he
going
got
down
the
like this street.
frequency. Yeah, he got the frequency from their walkie-talkies on the set, and he's just like, now that stuff would freak me out. Like, but I've had instances where I know for sure I was followed, like 100%. Even my wife has pointed it out. I almost got ran over with a damn car. They sped up. They didn't slow down, by the way. So that was the first instance. I go, they sped up. I had to dive out of the way. I felt like Corey Feldman. He said that was murder New York. But I don't know about that guy though. I recently did some digging into him, but yeah, being followed and stuff like that, and like the radio stuff. I haven't really heard the radio kind of thing, but it's weird
Mm.
because I'll say something like that. I think this car is following me, and then like 5 or 10 seconds later, it'll take off. And I've seen them in the review for a while. They'll take off, and my wife will be like, "That's weird that you brought that up," and then they leave every time. And it's not happened once; it's happened like 3, 4, 5, several times. So
Mm.
yeah, or maybe I'm just schizophrenic, and I'm just kidding. I am not diagnosed with schizophrenia, but I've never been tested. But then again, I don't trust doctors. So, but yeah, some people, you gotta give credit to some people. Some people think life is just life. Which is true. We live life, but there are bad people that orchestrate things, and that's all what that movie's really about. Truman Show is basically about a company that bought a baby, and instead of raising it, or they did raise it, but they basically, like I said, paid for everybody, hired everybody to take care of this baby, set it up as a TV show. They do a lot worse with babies now. They just kill them. They don't want babies. And
Well,
that's
some of them aren't even real now. Like they're like grown in a lab.
And it's I've recently saw like a ton of people. They were just like don't want to have kids, and they go, "Oh, just live your life, have fun." I'm like, we were put on this earth to repopulate. Like we were supposed to grow. If we slow down like this, it's not going to be like you said, it's not going to be humans anymore. We're just going to start growing life in the tube, and like it's not going to be natural like the God intended was, to procreate. It's going to be lab grown kids walking around and running around. It's not to say anything like that.
Which begs the question too. Like, if you're a lab grown baby, like not real from like two parents, like I've always wondered, like, can they like be saved by God? Which
That is a good
like,
question.
like I've never really like asked somebody that before, but
My
I
wife
don't know.
always says everybody can be saved, but like everybody, what is that? Like you said, like 'cause exactly, it's like it's not from a human. I guess like you said, it's grown as a human. Like it depends, because like if it has a soul, I guess we're not really. That's a good question, honestly. That's one of the best
How
questions.
can you have a soul if you're made in a lab?
Right? I mean, like,
That's,
oh gosh, we're
I know
getting
it's
really.
because like if like somebody, I mean I'm kind of going off topic here, but if
No,
somebody
you're
says,
good.
oh, I was growing in a lab, but I have faith in God, like
That's Nick Fuentes pretty much for you. He's an IVF baby.
what is that?
IVF is like fertilization, where they freeze the eggs of the lady, and then they mix it up in a lab. Like they do take like a real human sperm and the real egg of a woman, and they mix it in a lab and they make a baby, because they're not say like
Oh,
people aren't able like we're having trouble like having full term of so like most people will go and do that, but if you're super religious, most people don't believe in that kind of thing, because they that's playing God. Uh, so yeah, I understand your thing completely, but yeah, and, like the guy I watched, Nick Fuentes, he's they call he says he's a test tube baby, but he's against it, and but he's like, you don't get to control how you're like most people. They go, you're brown, you can't stand up for white people. I'm like, dude, I'm half white. I was like, I can stand up for my people. That's technically my people. He's like, oh, but you're the. I'm like, did I pick for my mom to hook up with some Hispanic guy? I'm like, no. It's like, if I had a choice, maybe I wouldn't have, but then I wouldn't be here. I'd be a different me. So it's like we're put here for a reason. So like my wife would say we're all meant to be saved. So I would say I'm gonna go with my wife here and say we can be saved. So maybe I don't know. That's where I just not my expertise, but no, it fits perfect into it, because I was bringing up that they bought a baby. This is what the show is about. The movie, they bought a child, which is crazy in itself. Or they didn't even buy it. Well, I forgot how it happened, but like they got ownership of the baby somehow. I think they did. Imagine the parents of that fucking baby just sold their fucking kid. Did they ever resolve that in the movie? I don't remember. His actual parents.
I don't think so.
I think the mother died. Oh, the
That's what I
mother died
remember.
at birth, I believe. I think his mother died at birth, and they never go over who the real father was, which is crazy because, like you said, like your actor dad is your real dad. You're always going to remember that for the rest of your life. But man, I would like to see. It sucks. It's like I don't want to see a sequel, but I would have loved to just have seen like a little bit of him outside of the dome and hooking and finally like reuniting with that one lady. But I understood why they left it open to interpretation. So it's a good movie. I would like everybody to go out there. I'm gonna put a poll up later to see. It's gonna be, are we in a human-made Truman Show? And I'm gonna say that because like it's a human-made, like a man-made Truman type show. Or we're in I'm also going to put up if we're in a computer simulation, because you did bring up about the glitching in the sky, saying the pigeons freezing in midair and people just freezing in the middle of a. I've seen people do that. A lot of people say that's because of like joints or some kind of seizure sometimes. I was like, seizures? I thought they were shaking. They're like, well, there's other ones where they just freeze. And then
Which begs the question: do you think it's more likely that we're in a Truman Show, or do you think it's more likely that we're like in a Matrix?
a little bit of both. Well, like that's what I was saying. Like I think it's like the Matrix. So if you've watched the Matrix, it's you're plugged in, like you're plugged into the world, you're wrapped in. And I was there for a very long time. A lot of people were, and a lot of the time you don't have faith in that plugged in and stuff. And so when you unplug and you see everything for reality, what it is, it's sort of similar. So I would say probably more likely it's a Matrix, but it's the Truman Show is like the essence of what the Matrix is, where you're on, like you said, the routine, um, the ads, and you're supposed to break out of it. And Truman gets to break out of it eventually. Sorry, spoiler alert. He gets to break out of the Matrix, as so to speak. So I would say it is a Matrix, but I think like I watched both shows when I was younger. The Matrix confused the fucking shit out of me as a kid, obviously. But watching the Truman Show as a kid, it was a little more like put together well to understand.
It was more like relatable.
But that's more relatable. So I would say it's more like the Truman Show because I can relate to it, the Truman Show. But like in the aspects of the Matrix, now that I'm older and watching it, I would say it's more like the Matrix. And also, can you guess who are the directors of the Matrix?
I remember this.
it's like I don't have to say anymore. It's just like, and yeah, they're into some crazy ass shit. By the way, it's really weird. But I appreciate everybody tuning in, and the new people that are tuning in right now. We just got some viewers going up. So I would like to hear from y'all too. If y'all, if you're on Rumble, hit up the chat, the live chat or the after chat. I want to hear your thoughts on this because I think it is sort of like the Truman Show, and not in the sense like we're the main character of the show and it's all about us. No, we're all Truman. That is what I'm saying. We are all Truman, and we're in one big giant fucking show. And I mean by that is like wrestling. I say this. Go watch an episode of WWF old school. Don't watch the new school into it. I don't know how it is now, but if you watch like just a skit, just like a Stone Cold Vince McMahon kind of thing, we all know it's fake, it's scripted, but we enjoy it. It's nice and fun. But if you knew that the politics was like that, it wouldn't be as fun because that affects our lives. Politics is like, very important. It affects all these laws, affect everything we do. This is basically WWE on a big scale. It's a TV show. That's what I always tell everybody. And they always go, you think we're in one big fucking movie? I'm like, we are. Like a lot of the stuff is staged for our either our amusement or for our distraction. These plane, like a lot of it, I'm not saying all, there are accidents, people die, Bernie Mac died, rest in peace, like, and but there are people that are murdered. Like I believe Bob Saget was murdered. I believe Trevor Moore was murdered. I believe there are a lot of people that are murdered that are covered up. And to say that there aren't cover-ups and murders and all, like they aren't covered up is just a schizo of someone saying that everything is a cover-up and murder, So that's all I want to say about that. But we're talking about the Truman Show here. I think the best. A lot of people go with flat Earth as well because they're like, oh, he reaches the end and he touches the sky and it's fake. And they even control the water in the ocean in that movie too, which was funny. And
how he hit like a wall.
Yeah, at the end when he was because they put him in the boat and then they control the water. They're like, oh, if we do any more, we might kill him. And that dude was risking to kill Truman like for the show and like everything. And then at the end, he had the audacity to. If y'all go watch the film, I highly recommend watching the Truman Show. And I'm going to brush over Jim Carrey a little bit now that we're towards the end. We're about 40 minutes in, so I need to at least brush over this. Jim Carrey recently, he went through a lot. To get into acting, he like slept in his car a lot. I believe he had to like scrape here and there just to get by. He went to Hollywood, and then he had this. A lot of people say it was like a mental breakdown, or he was like going crazy is what people said. But really what he was doing was he was breaking out of the Matrix. He was being Truman at that point. I like to tell everybody he was being Truman because he started talking about they were asking him, who's Jim Carrey? And he's like, oh, that's a character. He's like, I'm not Jim Carrey. He's like, it's this thing you perceive me to be. And he went on all this like philosophical kind of thing. And he was making a lot of sense. I know he's very liberal and all that stuff, but I tend to look at somebody's soul and see it. And I could see he was trying to break out of this world that he got wrapped up in with Hollywood. It was kind of like Truman Show. He got wrapped up in it and he was familiar, and they'd ask, hey, you want to do this? And he'd be like, he would do it without thinking because it was routine. And then now he broke out and he's like, I'm out of that routine now and I'm going to do something different. So yeah. That's so Jim Carrey, he had like this little breakdown and everything, and I think he basically broke out of he lived the Truman experiments, the Truman Show, and I thought that was really cool to see. He played Biden really well on SNL too. That was funny. But yeah, I hope Jim Carrey's doing good, and hopefully he's found Christ. Now I think he's mentioned Christ a lot, so I'm hoping he can.
Yeah, he has.
That's good. So that's what I wanted to brush over a little bit. I don't know if you saw that or anything, but I saw him having those philosophy and stuff. Yeah, I saw it was like for the last few years he'd been doing it, and he did interviews. He even called out Hollywood and was saying that they had like an Illuminati and a handshake and everything. And I was like, that's awesome. So it was good to see that and to see, you know, that's my thing. I was like, I don't think the Truman Show as a whole, like, oh yeah, my wife's a fucking actor at this, but there are people that are like I mentioned to you off stream that was Malcolm X's head of security was an FBI undercover agent, and he had gotten so attached to Malcolm X that when he got shot and assassinated, he was the first one by his side, and even FBI was like, why? I don't know. I just did it without hesitation. And most people was like, you would do that even in any scenario. But he'd been undercover probably for so long that. And in other instances, the Waco incident, they had an undercover ATF agent that infiltrated the cult, or the Branch Vidians. Yeah, that's what they're called. And he had gotten so close to them that he was almost, I think if that's the story is correct, is that I think he was almost trying to warn them as well because, he got so close. And so a lot of people, I'm not saying that, there's not actors out there, but that's what they are. Undercover agents are actors. So there are actors out there, but not everybody. And that's why I say it's not all of the Truman Show is real. Obviously, we're not in our own characters, our own fucking. I mean, it could be like I told you off as well. I was like, there's aliens out there watching us probably, but I don't think it's humans plugging it in, going, let's watch Steven's World today and let's fuck it up all day. But I do think occasionally they do. Like I stub my toe, I'm like, damn it, that's them. I'm just, I'm like, no, but. Someone always once said that they're like, "Oh, we can blame them on everything," and I'm like, probably. I'm not gonna, but I'm not gonna say it all because then I'll be really crazy. But we'll wrap it up here. Final thoughts on the Truman Show and reality. And I'll ask you the same question: do you think it's more of the Matrix, or do you think it's more of the Truman Show?
I'd say more of the Truman Show, only because it seems more possible in my opinion, just from everything. Because I guess if there was like the Matrix, there'd be more there'd be like more like supernatural things happening.
That's true. Yeah, the Matrix is more sci-fi, and Truman seems more real. It's not because it's not labeled as a sci-fi because Matrix is, I think, labeled as a sci-fi.
Yeah, so that makes how in the Matrix, people are dodging bullets and doing all these weird tricks and stuff. I was like, if you watch Truman, it's like it's more possible for Truman to happen than the Matrix.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I said, and I'll repeat it: we are Truman. That's how I feel, and that's why I believe in the Truman theory. It's not like I'm not saying as if like the Truman Show conspiracy theory because you put it that way. It's like I just think that we're Truman. We're being surveillanced. We're being controlled. Like we're going into X. Like when I scroll through it, you'll see an ad, and I'm like, it's even on Amazon. So I have Amazon Prime now. And I'll be like, since it's connected with your Amazon, so anything you look up, it's like it has an algorithm, and so it'll shoot you ads on certain things. Like it knows my wife is pregnant right now, so it's sending me a lot of pregnant ads. And then I recently was looking up security cameras because of all the swatting that's been going on, so I could have some security cameras on the property. And then I started getting security cam ads, and it's like it's constantly trying to get you to buy, so or sell, or.
What's funny is that just the other day, I think it was yesterday or Thursday. Yeah, I think it was on Thursday. My uncle was talking to me about this tool set that he bought, and he showed me on his phone. And as he was telling me that, I had my phone in my pocket, and then, later on when I went to scroll through Instagram, guess what was one of the ads that came up?
Cool. Yeah.
Dude, it was that same tool set. I'm like, what the?
Bro, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, they're constantly listening to algorithm and like, bro, I think like dude, it's crazy. And I just wish sometimes they would just get off our fucking backs, man, and just let us relax. But even then, it's like they control. Oh, yeah, we can go on this for hours, man. Like I told you, I could talk about this all day if I really wanted to. But we're not going to do that. We're going to wrap it up here really quick. I appreciate everybody coming out. There's like 2 or 3 of you that are watching live, which is all right, guys. We appreciate that. And all the rewatchers, I hope y'all got something out of this. This is the Danger Zone. Let me grab the sign here. So we did touch on some dangerous stuff today. Fuck that sign right now. But we did touch on some dangerous things, and we talk about things that a lot of people don't like to talk about. People get skittish or they run off or they go, oh no, you're one of those. And I'm like, why can't we just have a conversation about it? Not, because I know me and you don't agree on a lot of things. And like, as long as you're willing to have a conversation about it, I mean, that's the good thing,
Yeah, what I mean, yeah, but that's what makes it us. If every single person agreed to the same thing, then we'd literally be like robots, and nobody would have their own opinion.
It'd be like that one episode of the I don't know if you watch Fairly Odd Parents, but when they all turned all black and white, and the dentist and everything, what was it? Yeah, they all turned black and white, and there was like no really. It'd be weird if everybody was the same, but I wouldn't want to like look down. I mean, you would want to get. I mean, I guess your culture wise, like you'd like to go down and see somebody like you're in Texas, you've lived your whole life. You want to see somebody that looks like a Texan, you don't want to see somebody that looks like a Californian coming into your place fucking it up. But you know what I mean? Like we all got to be different, have a different style. But ultimately, I feel like we all should follow Christ at least. But other than that, again, Jesus Christ name drop. I got to do it once or twice, at least midstreams. Other than, I'm gonna say it again. Somebody pointed out that I say this guy says like or other than that one more time, I'm gonna fucking kill him. And I was like, I have a tick. It's my thing. I'm not a professional. As you can see, I had to hold my fucking thing because it fell off. It was my fault for moving it though. But I appreciate everybody for being coming out. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Go out and watch the Truman Show. I highly recommend it. If you have trouble getting it, I have ways of. I think they have it like free on everything now. If you go to something, you'll find it. Just type in to your little AI assistant or your Google or whatever you use. I wouldn't recommend these, but I'd recommend Q1. That's one I use. Even then, I'm getting skittish of that one because it keeps asking me these stupid questions now. But anywhere you use, you're going to be surveillanced or followed. Because I'm using it's supposed to be a privacy browser, but I know they, like you said, they sell information just like apparently they're going to sell our DNA now from 23andMe. Good thing I didn't put mine on there, but that has got to be illegal. Like you said, that's fucking crazy that they're trying to sell DNA. They might be doing it so that another company maybe starts a DNA thing. I don't know. That's weird. All right, but other than that,
or they can start implementing it to the AI robots.
Oh fuck! They're gonna upgrade. Yeah, I mean, they put DNA into a robot, bro. Maybe they're working on clones to put DNA and cloning us. That'd be fucking weird. I mean, dude, I remember watching. We're getting off topic again, but I remember watching a video of. I remember it becoming on the news. It was on the news like they had like cloned a lamb, and this was back in like 2000, like the early 2000s when it just started off, like 2005, 2006, 2007. I was like, they did what to a? They cloned a lamb? Oh. We brushed over it, and then now we're in the year 2025, and they're not talking about anything about clones. And I'm like, I'm worried. Where the fuck? There's that. What's that one movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the 16th day or the 6th day, where he? I'm not going to ruin the movie, but go out and watch that. That's a good one about clones too. I can recommend y'all movies all the time. I'm like, what is it? People get mad when people ask Nick for a book reference. I was like, ask me for movie references. I'll give them to you. I'm obsessed with movies. But I think we're going to end it on here. We're going to do the outro. Do you have any closing words about the Truman Show or anything?
Yeah, I mean, if you have, a routine that's good, just always keep trying to, improve yourself. Keep your faith, do as much good as you can, and just give praise to God.
Amen. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, as long as you stay, I believe I believe this now more than ever that I'm older. The more positivity you give out, the more you'll receive about it. It really is. I talked with a deacon recently, and he was like, you should donate a certain amount of percentage of your check every day to like the church or something, or just something. Give to somebody, give $1 to a homeless person like that. He goes, because guess what, your pockets will get will get stacked with much more than that because of how, not that, but he was like, you'll get more in return down the line because of so much your actual authentic, goodness you're spreading. You'll be returned. The positivity returned back to you.
That's the thing, though, is that like whenever I've done good, I do it because I want to do it, and I enjoy helping people, not because I expect something in return. Like last month, I was helping this homeless dude. Like I literally bought him groceries, and I did it because I enjoy helping people, not because because God's gonna bless me later. It's like, I mean, yeah, if he does, that's great and all, but like I do it because I really wanted to do it.
Exactly. What I hate is those people. I mean, I guess somebody's got to do it to inspire other people to do it. But the ones that go on YouTube and they're like, "Oh, I did that," and they film it. You know what I mean? And
Oh
they're
yeah,
like,
to do like for clout, yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, you wouldn't fucking like if you wouldn't like you would if you like you did. You did it. There's no filming it. You did nothing. You didn't probably Instagram about it or nothing like that. You
Oh.
know. Exactly. Those people are like not in it for the right things, so they're not going to get positivity back. Because what they're doing is not good intentions. So yeah, stay positive, guys. Work on yourselves. Try to grow closer to God if you can, guys. I highly recommend it. It's really awesome. You can't go wrong with it. I mean, why would you do that? It's like what is it? Would you rather use the elevator or the fucking stairs that are going to make you fall down 100 million times all the way down? If you go over here in the elevator, you got Christ, but that stairs, it's known as Lucifer's staircase. Don't go over there. And it leads to hell. So I'm so sorry, guys. I jokes, but it's just an analogy, if you're not following God, you're going to be going down a different path, and that path is not God. So what's the opposite of that? That's all I'm saying, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week, hopefully. We probably won't be back that's later down in the end of April because WrestleMania is coming up. But till we reach then, we'll be back with another episode. Do we know what we're going to be talking about? No, because I do this last minute sometimes. So we'll see. Some big thing will happen. I know a lot of news and politics things come out, but we don't really focus too much on that. But I do. He doesn't as much. He's Ash Ketchum over here. He's catching all the conspiracy theories, puts them in his ball over here. He throws them out when he wants to. And, I choose you. I mean, the Truman Show theory was today. So I'll ask him next time. We'll see what he's got in his Pokeballs over there. All right, everybody, we're gonna hit the outro. Y'all have a blessed evening. I didn't even shield for my eBay, but if you want to know anything about my store, just go on my X account or on Instagram. I have it there too. All right, see y'all later. Peace.